Sunny Fort Lauderdale. Anyways, Troy with Talk CDL, and I've got Abigail from Tab Bank.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And then we also have Essie, who's our sales manager for Tab Bank.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Essie. Where is the corporate headquarters of Tab Bank?
So our corporate headquarters is actually located in Ogden, Utah. But we actually, we started over 26 years ago online. So we have a presence across the country, and we also have a presence in Dallas, Texas. I'm actually out of Dallas, Texas, and Essie is as well.
So obviously, now y'all have been coming to the truck show now for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So Tab Bank isn't just a Tab Bank. Tab Bank is a bank for truckers and trucking companies, correct? This is what you guys do.
Yes, we specialize in truckers, and we've been doing it for a long time. And we offer, a range of things. On our team, we focus on factoring, and not only do we help out large customers, but we also help out medium-sized fleets as well as small fleets as well.
Maybe we should get your slogan as Tab Bank, trucker-friendly banking.
Ooh,
you like that, huh?
I think that has a ring. You might be onto something.
I like that, trucker-friendly banking. Maybe we could even use TAB and incorporate that into it, because T could be trucker, right?
Oh, the acronym. Okay, that's creative. I like it.
Oh, the current acronym stands for transportation. So the T is for transportation, and then it's an alliance bank. So Transportation Alliance Bank.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I'm
so TAB is actually our DBA.
I'm actually embarrassed that I didn't know. So transportation, go ahead, finish it. What was the last two?
Transportation Alliance Bank.
Transportation Alliance Bank. That is really cool. So we could even make it the Truckers Alliance Bank.
Absolutely. Alliance with CDL podcast.
So talk to me. What do we have since the last time we've talked to y'all? Updates. Like, what are we doing? What's Tab Bank doing with truckers these days?
Can you believe that it's been a whole year since we've been to the Florida Trucking Show? It felt like the whole year flew by.
It did.
Yeah, it really did fly by. But, we're still doing the same thing, except for now we're offering for all of our factoring customers that sign up. We actually provide a Tab Bank business account, as well as, a complimentary service that we add. And then, we're still financing trucks and trailers and offering pre-approval letters for people that are looking to buy a new truck or a trailer.
So trucking companies and really anybody trucking related, am I correct on that?
Definitely.
You're offering, when they do their factoring with Tab Bank, you're now offering them a separate actual business account to where it sounds more personal, more manageable. Is that how that works?
Exactly, and that's kind of Tab Bank's thought behind it as well. So our customers this year are just super happy with being able to look at us as being like a one-stop shop. So they can do their banking with us, they can get their factoring with us, and then they can come back when they're ready to purchase, upgrade their equipment or continue to grow their fleet. We can also be a resource for them as well.
Well, up to a few years ago, I didn't even really understand factoring. I didn't. So, for any small trucking company out there, you take on all kind of sizes, correct?
We do. We're very flexible in terms of size.
So for the small trucking fleets, the one truck chuck, and maybe somebody has 3 or 10 or 12 trucks, explain to them what factoring is and how they can go about signing up for Tab Bank.
Yeah, so basically, whenever they get their trucking company started, and whether they have one truck or 100 trucks, most of the time the brokers that they work with have extended payment terms, 30 or 60 days.
I've seen 90.
Yeah, and they can even go up to 90. And the truth is that, we don't make our customers are able to be a little bit flexible with the factoring, so they don't have to factor every single broker. They can actually choose which ones they want to factor and then not factor the ones they don't want to factor. So that allows them a little bit of flexibility. But basically, if they've got, one of those brokers that do have those extended payment terms, we actually give them access to our credit broker portal, which is a really nice tool because they're able to look at and determine whether or not that's a broker that we would be able to work with based on their credit rating. So basically, we're able to potentially purchase their invoice and offer same-day funding so that they can continue to put the money in their business and run their business and get paid the very same day.
So let's say you're a trucking company, okay? And let me just make sure I heard you right. All right, let's say I just started Troy's Trucking, and I've got the drivers going, and we just delivered 5 loads this week, right? And then we deliver another 5 next week. Now next week comes, and I realize, wow, these brokers, they're not going to pay me for 75 days. But I've got fuel bills, I've got truck payments, I've got everything. I can call Tab Bank and get set up with my own personal business account.
Yeah.
And so, you already said you can also open up your porthole to me to where, as I am accepting loads from brokers, it would be Tab saying, this is one we do business with, or this might not be one we would do business with.
And yeah, exactly. And it might be one based on their credit rating that
Right.
as a driver, you might want to know if they're, if they've got a good credit rating, they've got a good credit rating for a reason, and it's because they're paying their drivers. They've got a low credit rating, well, they might not be the best at paying their drivers, and so that might not be somebody that you would maybe want to do business with.
Yeah, key point. The 75 days that I've got to wait for payment may never come.
Exactly.
Right. So we've got now the ability to know if it's a reputable broker, number one. But number two, more importantly, Tab Bank is gonna wire me money that day. If we're already set up with you, you're gonna put money in my account, and now I don't have to wait for the broker.
Exactly.
Right, and I can really keep my business. But what's also I noticed you said was, I'm not obligated to factor every invoice to you.
Exactly. So that seems to be like really nice to have some flexibility with that, because maybe there's, why pay a factoring fee if you don't need to? Like if you want to, maybe there's someone that you're happy to wait on the payment terms if it's 30 days, but your other friend that the broker that you might be working with might be like 60 or 90, and well, you might want to put that cash back into your business or pay your drivers or whatever you might want to use the funds for.
I mean, I know I would. Well, there's a reason why a lot of people use Tab Bank for the factoring purpose.
Yes, and Tab Bank's been doing this for a really long time, so they've gotten really good at it. I would like to say that, we've got a very, very tenured team. Once you get approved for Tab Bank, other factoring companies may do, and I know they do it differently, but we actually assign a dedicated relationship manager that's 100% dedicated to the carrier. So they're not going to pick up the phone and be passed around to 50 different people. We really do care about our customer service more than anything, and that's really what we're known for in the industry, in addition to just being, a bank for truckers. So they're going to be able to get to know the relationship manager really well, and in turn they're also going to get to know the customer really well, which is really nice because you're not just another name, and you can build that rapport. And I don't know, we like to treat people like family, and especially our customers, and you really do feel like that at Tab Bank.
I like what you're saying. If I have a broker that I'm used to doing business with and he pays me fairly on time and it's pretty quick, I wouldn't factor that over to you. But, if I'm growing and I have now 20 trucks in the next 6 months, and I have to go outside the broker I'm using, and I'm using brokers that I'm not familiar with, a one-stop shop with Tab Bank. I'm literally, doing business directly with you. I might have 5 brokers that owe me money, but Tab Bank is paying me, and Tab Bank is collecting the money off them. I don't have to worry about it. Tab Bank's got my back.
Tab Bank is definitely someone you can count on. I want to add that we also are insured by the FDIC, so we are an actual bank for truckers in mind for sure. And we've been doing this for a long time, like I'd mentioned. And so I think one of the key things is when you're signing up for a factoring company, you don't want to just look at the rate, because you could have the lowest rate ever, but sometimes you really do, and in this case, you get what you pay for. And so not only are you going to get a very competitive rate at Tab Bank, but you're going to get some of the best customer service that I feel like is available right now in the industry.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something, we really need to get back to customer service in this industry, because me personally, I like doing business with somebody that I don't have to walk on eggshells around. I like doing business with people that if I call there, they don't forget that they had to return my call and take care of me. That's what I'm looking for. That's worth money right there in itself.
And truckers work too hard, and they're the backbone of our economy, and I feel like they need to be treated like the best. They deserve the best, and so that's what we do provide at Tab Bank. In addition to all the other things, is you're going to be a family member and you're going to get treated like one.
So we've got Essie.
Yes.
She's the manager. Essie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Branch manager or like all-around manager?
No, I'm the manager for the sales factoring team. So any of my reps that you call, they're reporting to me. I'm the one that's training them, guiding them on how to set up. If you have anything related to factoring that my reps might not be aware of, I'm the guiding representative for that.
Do you have some promotions that you wanted to talk about, or what did you have that you wanted to talk to us about?
Well, really just piggybacking on everything Abigail has said. We provide true same-day funding in conjunction with the business bank accounts that come with our factoring. And that means true same-day funding. So a lot of factoring companies that you talk to will tell you we do same-day funding, but it actually means that they're going to be ACHing a payment to your bank account, and that means you're going to have a 24 to 48 waiting period. When we say true same-day funding, it means that if our relationship manager purchases your invoice at, let's say, 3 p.m., it hits the bank account at 3:01. So it's true same-day funding. Yeah, so we're very unique in that way. And then, two, because we're not just a factoring company, we are a bank. We have more flexibility in how we can finance your invoices, and we just allow more creative funding. And also remember, because there's no middleman in between yourself and a bank, you get a better fee with us. It's very transparent, so there's no hidden fees. The fees that we tell you we're going to charge, that's really what you're going to pay.
I like what you said, though, as far as same day, because a lot of places advertise same day, which just means, okay, we started processing you today, but you really don't get your money for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
You've seen that, right?
I mean, we see it all the time. And I mean, even with us, sometimes before we started offering these complimentary business bank accounts, same day still meant, after we send the payment out, you still have to wait on your bank to receive it from the reserve for it to be processed, and then it might say pending on your bank account and not post for another 2 to 3 days. But now that we have these business bank accounts in-house, it allows us to really process your payment same day.
So they're getting it today.
Today, yeah.
Today, you got the invoice today. I'm getting my money today.
Yes.
I'm getting paid.
Exactly.
That's what we like.
Yeah.
Now that's a hot mess.
Yes, a good hot mess. And then for promotions, if you're watching or listening to this podcast and you inquire on our website, you can go either to our website or you can call Abigail directly at 214-444-6718.
Give us that number again. This is right to Abigail?
Yes, this is directly to Abigail. It's 214-444-6718. Or if you go on our website, if you didn't have a chance to write that down, go on our website and let us know that you're listening to this podcast, Florida Talk CDL, and we will. We have a due diligence fee that we normally charge at $250, but if you let us know that you're listening to this podcast, we will cut that in half for you.
Nice.
Until the end of March. So it's good for a couple of days, so you don't have to make your decision tomorrow. You have time to think about it. Just make sure to let my team know that you're listening to this ad or this podcast at the Florida Trucking Show, so that we can make sure that you get the fee waived.
And the website, tabbank.com?
Yes, tabbank.com.
Tabbank.com. So is there anything else that you'd like to add in? I mean,
I was just going to say that for anybody who is shopping around, something that this year that I've seen a lot of is that whenever customers are basically not getting at some of these other companies that are not transparent. To just kind of piggyback back on what Essie said, we pride ourselves on being like that, and I would just highly suggest to read the fine print, because sometimes people think they're signing up for something and like the rate, is this rate, but then you don't realize that you have a volume requirement that you have to make to be able to take advantage of that rate. And I do want to mention that, if you've got a truck down or one of your drivers is out, maybe somebody wants to take a vacation or whatever it may be, we're not going to penalize you for not making a certain volume amount, because we actually don't have volume requirements at Tab Bank.
So that's another thing. Let me touch on that for a second. So what you're saying is if I signed up today, I sent you an invoice. You process it, like Essie said, same day I get paid, right? But let's say I don't do anything for 6 more months. There's no penalties. I'm still with you.
Yeah, you are. And what we realize is that factoring is something that you have signed up because you need to use it. And so it's there for when you need to use it. Or if you don't need to use it, you're just going to have it, you're not going to get penalized, which is a nice thing.
So sign up, and you said sign up is, go ahead, Essie. You were saying about a $250 fee. Tell me about that $250 fee again.
Yeah, so in order for us to actually open up a bank account, it takes money to make money. So we do underwrite with the $250 application. So once it's approved, we've approved you. We do charge $250 from the very first invoice that you factor, except if you're listening to this and you get $100 cut off of that. So if you let us know you met us here, we'll discount it.
Basically, you said cut it in half, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So awesome. So that's a nice little promotion to give. Something else, both of you have mentioned the customer service part of how important it is to be getting what you're told you're getting and not having. I'm going to tell you, we had a bank here in Florida that we signed up with them, and we had all our money going through, and every month it was one charge after another. In fact, our church was involved in it, with this bank also. And every time, like say they got their collections, say they had say it was $600.51. Well, if the people that were counting the money put $600.50, the church was getting a $10 recounting fee because they were a penny off, right? So I went in there, I said, hey, we're closing out our account. They said, well, is there anything we could do? I said, yeah, give us back the money that on every little month you were grabbing us for one fee or this fee or that fee that you never told us about. So we literally took our money and went over there, all because, like you were saying, we weren't getting what we were told we were getting.
Yeah, there was no transparency.
You and Abby are saying Tab Bank is going to give you, and I love that. I truly love that, because I think it's important that we do get what we're told, that I'm not getting a company that's literally telling me one thing and then another. That's frustrating. I hated that.
And I think we see that a lot heavily in the transportation / factoring space, where our truckers will see, oh, well, so-and-so is giving me a 1% for one truck, but at that rate, they're really only making $10 off of your truck. Do you really think that business is going to stay in business only charging you $10 per thousand? They're not. They're lying to you. They're selling you on a lie. And we have lost a lot of business to competitors based on false pricing, but then we regain it when we buy them out, because they call us and say, hey, you were right. And yeah, it's in the fine print. A lot of times we see tiered pricing. We can offer tiered pricing if you prefer that, but tiered pricing, what it does is implements volume, a lot of volume requirements, which means your fee's not going to be what they're actually advertising. And then sometimes they also have prime fees, which most banks do. Fortunately for you, if you're listening to this, Tab Bank doesn't have prime fees on our factoring product. So that means that if we promise you a rate, that's the rate that you're getting. And we can always better the rate if your volume increases. But if you're just a small to medium-sized business, it's pretty. Usually we sit anywhere between 2 3/4 and 3%, and we don't really keep any reserves. So that means you're getting basically a full advance minus our fee.
I'm going to change your name to Tab TTTAB.
And what does that stand for? Transparency?
Then it's 4 T's.
Oh.
Transparency, transportation, truckers, and truth.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
I like that too, but I just think that just being honest and just doing business for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Whenever you're helping these people who really do work so hard, and it's been a really tough 3 years in transportation, I just feel like they only deserve the best. And you know what? I think you treat people good like Tab does. That's why we have had the same. customers who just don't leave us, and then they go tell their family and their friends, which we really love, because that's the biggest compliment ever, is when we get referral business.
Well, I think that when somebody comes on my podcast and they're preaching truth and transparency, honestly, I think that's what you're all about. Because we've talked about it from the beginning to the end, which I think should make people want to just literally join your bank just for their factoring. I think that would be a great move for everybody. So all you trucking companies out there and other people that are in the transportation industry, you take them on, right? Like people that manufacture tires for trucks, and truck manufacturers, all of them are welcome to join up with Tab Bank.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So trucking is our bread and butter. We, that's where our roots are in the trucking space. But we have branched out of trucking. So we service manufacturers. You don't have to only be in the transportation space. So you can be manufacturers, staffing companies, business, anything that's business to business. If it generates an invoice, we want to talk to you. There's a possibility that we can expand on a partnership where we would finance you, there's other industries that there's just like an endless amount of industries, right? But those are, I would say, like the most popular ones for us that we service on a daily basis.
And I think it's important also to note there's no size requirement.
There's no size requirement.
You could be one truck Chuck, or you could be Swift with 20,000 trucks.
Exactly. We take on startups. If you're in trucking companies, for freight brokers, it's a little bit more complex. So you'll have to talk to one of us to let you know if it's a go or not. But if you're just a trucking company, we work with you if you're a startup. We also have dispatchers that we work with. So if you don't have anyone that's dispatching you to book a load, we can have a resource for you. And then, like you said, if you're already pretty established, we'll be a great resource because we're a bank and we have multiple products that can complement the growth of your business.
All right. So if somebody is hearing the podcast here, I was like, why is it shaking? Your leg's like going like that.
Oh, I'm playing. I'm sorry.
I was like, is there an earthquake? No, it's Essie.
Earthquake.
They do name hurricanes after people.
You know the funny thing about an earthquake? Let me just tell you this story. Okay. So we were at the Ontario Truck Show last year, and I had some really rowdy neighbors. I mean, I guess they were having a really good time, and it was a lot of stomping, and it was unfortunately when I was trying to sleep. And all of a sudden, it was like the whole building shook. This is the truth. And I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing up there? And it really was an earthquake. And it was my first earthquake.
It was a real earthquake?
It was a real earthquake. The building really was moving.
So you're getting ready to yell at people?
Yeah, I was. I was getting kind of mad.
You guys are sounding like an earthquake. It is an earthquake.
Just make sure he knows that this earthquake happened in Ontario, California. We were there for the trucking show.
Okay, because I was thinking Ontario, so Ontario, California makes more sense.
Ontario, California, yeah. It was morning. We're obviously in our separate rooms, and we're shaken up, but they made sure we were awake for the show.
Wow.
But seriously, I was like, what are these people doing up there? It sounded like that, and I'm literally the bed was even shaking, and they were like, oh, it's an actual earthquake. So that was my first earthquake. It really, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been a part of one, so.
Oh, good. Or a rowdy neighbor, whenever it does sound like an earthquake when it's not an earthquake.
I've been part of that. Ruth and I were in the Bahamas during spring break. And it was all college kids in every hotel, and it was just insane. And there was nothing you could do about it. You're not going to stop 30,000 college kids on an island. It's just insane.
That sounds I don't know, that sounds like some really bad punishment. Who picked that hotel room?
She did. But that was 20-some years ago. So.
Okay. But you were your kids that age? Were y'all with the kids?
No, it was just the two of us.
Oh, and you must have made Ruth mad. What did you do?
No, I didn't make anybody mad. All I can tell you is the swarm of college kids was like an earthquake.
I bet.
They were peeing in the hallways.
Gosh.
You're talking fraternities that are just drunk and partying. So it was insane.
Oh, well, that sounds way worse than the earthquake.
So going back to Tab Bank, TABBank, TABBANK, tabbank.com. And there, if you go online, sign up, if there's no place to say, hey, I heard this on the podcast, pick up the phone and call Abigail. At that phone number is what, Abigail? Let's hear it.
Yeah, y'all can call me directly, and it's 214-444-6718.
And I will tell you, that's another thing that I complain about. You can't get people on the phone anymore. It's all automated. You got to go online. If you got a problem, you can't whine to somebody. At least if we got a problem, we can call Abigail.
Yes, and you can whine to me too, because I'm happy to help with anything. Like if you're not happy with your current factoring company, definitely give me a call. I would love to help out, and we really are. We're a really good bank that actually cares about their customers.
Here's what I would suggest. Anybody that's interested in factoring, call Tab Bank, even if you have a factoring company, and sign up with them. And then the next 6 months, compare Tab Bank's service to what you're getting, and then make an educated move.
Yeah,
or not.
Absolutely. And also, even if you are factoring, let us review your contract. Maybe we can save you money. Or maybe we can do an easy transition out of a factoring company you're not happy with. So getting a quote from us does not mean that you are going to get penalized with some type of fee like some other factoring companies. An application or even just us reviewing the contract for you does not come with any entanglements whatsoever.
So, Essie, Abigail, it was a pleasure.
Likewise. We always love talking to you, Ruth.
Troy, you're our favorite. Thank you for having us on.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being part of Talk CDL. We really enjoy promoting you guys. And
Didn't you say there's a rumor about there might be a potential show in the future in Dallas, perhaps?
yes, she just said it. Now, Jesus, the one that promotes this show,
Yeah.
he said 2026 they're going to set up Dallas.
Wow.
And Dallas used to be a giant show, and they stopped right before COVID. And I'm telling you, it was big.
Really?
And everybody's been going, why did Dallas shut down? I mean, they had a lot of vendors. So he's looking at bringing it back. And if anybody could do it, he can.
Well, that just gives us another chance to run into each other in Dallas next year.
Dallas, maybe Houston. We're probably not going to do California. I don't want to go all the way out there. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
And anytime you want to come back on, you're permanently invited.
Wow. I feel so honored. Thank you, Troy. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.